Ask Dr. Nikki comes from Terry, and Terry asks, "Dear Nikki, I'm a 43-year-old woman with 2 kids and I don't want sex as much anymore. It's making me really frustrated and I feel disconnected to my partner. What do I do?" I feel like this is such a common scenario that we nearly humorize these days. You know, these jokes about getting married and having a baby and never having sex again. I actually think we need to have more healthy conversations around this rather than normalizing not having sex in a relationship by using humor. Now, it is one of those things that when we have a look at what happens to a woman's sex drive, there are so many different layers and facets to this. There may be medically something that's going on. You know, there could be something with your hormones. I don't know if you've experienced any trauma during childbirth. I don't know how your relationship is. You know, maybe there is resentment that's going on or issues that are not being addressed. I don't know what your everyday life is. You know, if you are stressed and busy and you have a million and one things going on in your head, then sometimes when you hit the pillow at the end of the night, the last thing you actually want to do is have sex. You just actually want to get some sleep because you know you're going to be up at 6 a.m. or woken up in the middle of the night. There are so many things that go on that make somebody not want to have sex anymore. I also think that sexual boredom is a huge factor in these situations. We tend to slip into the mode of, you know, everyday sexual behaviors, not even every day in this instant, you know, sexual behaviors that we do when we have sex, and things can become mundane because you get into that usual pattern. You know, if you walked to work every day the same way, eventually you would find it boring, right? So I'm not saying that you find another partner or you add someone else into the mix, but you change things up. And in order to change things up, you also need to take ownership of your sexuality. Women are not great at this, but I think we need to become more in control of our sexual pleasure. Orgasms are not up to our partner to deliver to us. Orgasms are something that we should experience, and if we want to experience them with a partner, then we need to tell our partners how we experience them and what things that we like. Even taking some time to explore what you want to do in the bedroom and having conversations around that. Maybe you want to purchase a new sex toy. If so, head to drnikkishop.com. Don't you like my little plug that I can get in there? But being all serious, you know, being able to purchase a product. 80% of women experience orgasms through clitoral stimulation. I don't know who you're in a relationship with, but fingers, penises, they don't always cut the mark when it comes to that. Sorry, fingers and penises. But sometimes we do need a little extra bit of stimulation, or even having that extra bit of stimulation can spice things up. Maybe you want to explore the world of anal and you want to do it with products. Maybe you want clitoral suction devices. Maybe you want a really good G-spot vibrator that hits the spot. There are ways that you can explore pleasure, but you also need to be having these conversations with your partner and telling your partner what it is that you want sexually in the bedroom. I also know that logistically it can be very difficult if you do have young children and you are balancing all sorts of things to find time to not only have sex but enjoy sex. So look at the logistics of your life. Do you have young kids that you put to bed and then you stay up doing the dishes, watching Netflix, catching up on some work, and then go to bed at the time where they start waking you up? If that's the case, then get to bed earlier. Stop watching Netflix. You know, throw the dishes in the dishwasher or leave them to the morning. Get to bed with your partner or have a shower. Do you have a little lock on your bathroom door? You need to have a look at the logistics of how you can sneak in some physical intimacy within the life that you have, and you may need to change certain aspects. I think that we're very reluctant to change things in our life to fit in more sex or more pleasurable sex because I think it kind of should be organic and natural. That's not always the case. We need to put sex, we need to place a priority on sex. I was getting tongue twisted there. Place a priority on sex in our relationships, which means sometimes making time for them and changing things so we have the time to connect physically with our partner. Obviously, I don't know the logistics of your life, but it's really important that you address that, but also see that having sex is important to connect and feel close to someone, to feel loved, to feel bonded, to feel pleasure. These are all reasons that we need to really remember when we are struggling with our sex life. So I hope a little bit of that information helps. I know it's not easy and there isn't a simple solution to this, but it is multifaceted and you have to have a look at, first of all, what is going on and what has actually been affecting your desire to want to have sex, and then being able to address that and work on some things about making it more fun and interesting. If there is a medical issue going on or you are struggling with anything on that scale, make sure that you please do speak to a doctor, and if the first doctor you don't speak to, you don't feel heard with your sexual complaints, Keep trying till you find someone that does, because there are people out there who know all this information and are willing to help you and probably could just pin it down to something and say, oh, you know what, that's a twisted pelvic floor muscle and you feel discomfort during sex and that's why you're not wanting it. Sometimes it can be that simple, but sometimes it can be more complex, and that is just part of the mix. So I hope that helps, and if you haven't asked Dr. Nikki a question that you want me to answer, make sure that you head to my Facebook page and my Instagram, send me a private message, ask me anything you want, and you may see it up here. Thanks guys, bye.